I'm not gonna say what he said, but I knew you were gonna be the first one to put out something like that. So because he was cursing me the whole first half too.
Why didn't you ask for Loki ejected in the first half then?
Because I never would eject a fan. They pay for tickets, but I had enough, you know. It's a little bit of frustration.
After a blowout loss to the Phoenix Suns on January 24th, Luka Doncic is making headlines for all the wrong reasons. It started with a fan just simply making a joke about Luka being out of shape. Okay, he pretty much insinuated that Luka's fat, let's be honest. But this resulted in Luka getting the fan escorted out of the game. Then afterwards, it was revealed that the fan left on his own and didn't even get kicked out of the game. But during the post-game press conference, Luka Doncic argued with the reporter who said he got kicked out for minutes. And oh yeah, now Devin Booker even wants to bring that fan back. So I know this is a lot of information for 1 minute, so we're gonna dive into this because this story is absolutely insane and it's the latest chapter to the Dallas Mavericks and Phoenix Suns rivalry. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. We're almost at 900,000 subscribers. And now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. This is the easiest way to make $150 now. All Christian McCaffrey needs in the NFC Championship is one rush yard, which means he's pretty much a free square on Prize Picks. All you have to do is download Prize Picks, use my promo code microphone to double your deposit up until $100, and then make these picks. I got Isaiah Pacheco scoring 1 touchdown and Harrison Butker making more than 1.5 field goals. Isaiah Pacheco has scored 1 touchdown over the last 5 games. Harrison Butker has been on a field goal frenzy, and I placed $24 to make $150, which are incredible odds. I post my picks for free on a daily basis on my Instagram and Snapchat story, and thank you Prize Picks for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Before we get into the beef that Luka Doncic has with ESPN reporter Tim McMahon and his heated rivalry with Devin Booker, we need to understand how all of this started. In 2022, the Phoenix Suns and Dallas Mavericks began one of the most exciting rivalries in NBA history when the Suns blew a 2-0 lead over the Mavericks in the 2022 Western Conference semifinals. This led the Mavericks to winning the series 4-3, primarily because of the incredible performances by Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson. However, the moment that sparked the rivalry was following Devin Booker taking a hard foul, and then after laying on the ground for about 20 seconds, looked at a fan's camera and said, "The Luka Special." The next game, Luka Doncic was going back to the locker room when a camera caught him saying the now famous words, in Game 7, Luka Doncic would glare at Devin Booker, creating what is now a famous meme, and then put on a historic performance, becoming the first NBA player in 25 years to match the other team's entire point total in the first half, en route to a Mavericks blowout 123-90 victory over the Phoenix Suns, which led to Booker calling the loss a good old-fashioned whooping. In 2023, the rivalry continued as in a March matchup between the two teams, Luka Doncic had a chance to tie the game with just seconds remaining, and after a controversial no call on Josh Okogie, Doncic missed the floater, which led to Devin Booker yelling at Doncic. Then the two would come face to face as if they were doing a fight or face-off. Half of me expected Dana White to just come out of nowhere and separate the two. The beef seemed to come to an end on Christmas Day of 2023 when Booker congratulated Luka Doncic on his newborn baby.
Congratulations on your daughter, bro. Thank you. You good?
And just like that, the beef was over. Video over. Or so we thought, because now it seems like this rivalry is officially back, and thank goodness we all love a nice rivalry in the NBA, don't we? During the Dallas Mavericks blowout loss to the Phoenix Suns, a video surfaced on Twitter of a fan heckling Luka Doncic, basically calling him fat. The fan said, "Luka, you're tired, get your ass on the treadmill." Another video surfaced afterwards of the fan leaving soon after, which led many, including ESPN reporter Tim McMahon, to believe that Luka Doncic had gotten a referee to eject that fan from the crowd. Now, for those of you guys that don't know who Tim McMahon is, he is the primary reporter that ESPN sends to cover the Dallas Mavericks. Kind of like how Brian Windhorst and Dave McMenamin are in charge of all things LeBron James, Tim McMahon primarily is in charge of all things Dallas. And in a tweet, Tim McMahon fan said that Luka Doncic asked security to eject this Suns fan, who was sitting 2 rows behind midcourt press row. The comment the fan made that drew Doncic's wrath was, "Luka, you're tired, get your on the treadmill." Sure, that tweet seems fine on the surface, but when you take into account it later came out that the fan wasn't injected and he left on his own free will, it makes it seem like Tim McMahon might have been using that moment to pile on to Luka when his team was already losing by over 20 points. Don't you absolutely hate when reporters and individuals with large social media followings exaggerate things just for the sake of a story? What? I will admit, in the past, Tim McMahon did have some questionable article titles surrounding Luka Doncic, including "Luka Doncic is exhausted as the Mavs fall despite record 3-0 run," and "Luka Doncic says everything hurts after Mavs top Lakers." But this is just an overlying story surrounding Luka Doncic. You don't have to be a genius to realize that man looks really tired in these games. He plays very heavy minutes as well, and he has the nickname Hookah Doncic, for crying out loud. But don't take it from me, take it from Luka Doncic, who quite literally declared war on Tim McMahon on national television during the post-game press conference.
The only thing he said, but I knew you would be the first one to point out something.
What else did he say?
I'm not going to say what he said, but I knew you were going to be the first one to put out something like that, so I just saw it, man. It's just funny. He always seemed to be the first one to put some bad stuff about me.
In a follow-up question, Luka was asked about what the fan was saying, and he replied,
"Because he was cursing me the whole first half too."
Why didn't you ask for Luka ejected in the first half then?
Because I never would eject a fan. They pay for tickets, but I had enough, It's a little bit of frustration.
Kind of takes you back from when Russell Westbrook famously got another fan ejected.
I'm a biggest fan. Westbrook. Westbrook. Russell Westbrook.
So now Luka Doncic is beefing with an ESPN reporter, and he might also be beefing with that fan again soon, as it looks like Devin Booker is trying to bring that fan back to the next Suns and Mavericks game to continue to heckle Luka Doncic. So check this out. In his own post-game press conference, Booker was asked about the situation and said this: "I don't know what he said. I hope he didn't cross too many lines, and I'll be getting his information. If you can find it, let me know." When asked about if he'll buy that fan a ticket, he simply says it depends on the situation. What does this mean? It means we probably will see that fan again, and that this situation is just one of the many stepping stones in the young and thriving Luka-Booker rivalry. But that leaves a few questions unanswered. Should fans be allowed to heckle star players for a whole half, or is Tim McMahon wrong for what he tweeted? Despite the fact that the fan left on his own free will, it doesn't change the fact that Luka asked for the fan to be ejected. All this means is that the fan left before security could find him, which is smart because this way he avoided any future stadium bans that could come with getting kicked out of an NBA game. In this sense, McMahon wasn't wrong in his original tweet when he asked that Luka asked security to eject the fan, because he did ask security. They just weren't quick enough. So no, technically in this case, McMahon wasn't wrong, but that also doesn't include all the previous times Luka believes McMahon had published bad information about him. As for fans heckling players, as long as it doesn't cross a line, who cares? Like, don't get me wrong, there was that one infamous incident where a fan allegedly wished death upon LeBron James's children, which led to LeBron ejecting that fan, which I understand. It's a basketball game. You don't need to wish death upon Bronny and Bryce Maximus James. But in this case, telling Luka to hop on a treadmill is a joke, not a literal death wish. And it's clearly a joke that Luka's very insecure about. At the most, it's a funny joke. At the worst, it's an overplayed Twitter meme, but it's not hurting anyone. As for that fan allegedly cursing at Luka the entire first half, that's more of a gray line. Sure, cursing isn't a death wish, but it's not a joke either. It's honestly just pure hatred. But that's expected in heated rivalries, and the more a rivalry develops, the more the opposing fans will hate the other team's star players. But let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think I'm just pro-bullying? Do you think Luka Doncic is just overly sensitive? Or do you think he had a right to want to eject that fan? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.